Hey everyone, this is Gabrielle from St. Cloud Nursery. I am out in my studio. I've had a little bit of a break. Haven't been out here a ton just because I've been doing life stuff, you know? The little tedious things that you need to take care of, and once you get into a groove, you find 10 more things that need doing and more things that need doing. You may notice or not that my video is a little bit brighter and nicer. That is because I got a new phone. Yay me. Not really. I'll tell you in a second. I just don't understand why phones are so expensive. I have had like the electronics month where I'm facing challenges with electronics. My computer was acting kind of strange and I had to get that straightened out. Then I had a fitness watch, or a Apple Watch. It was the first generation. I've had it for a really long time because it's a really nice watch and I like it and I'm used to it. Well, it forced me to do an update, which I didn't need to do, but it wanted me to. And then when it did that, it unpaired my watch from my phone. Then it wouldn't pair my watch because when my phone did its update, it was no longer compatible with my watch because the watch was too old. Oh. So I had purchased this watch for someone in my family as a Christmas present like 2 years ago, and it still was sitting in the box. They thought it was strange and they didn't want to be wearing something on their body that people could track them or follow them. I don't know. You know, if you got issues with being tracked and followed and people watching you and Big Brother and conspiracy and all that stuff, throw your damn phone away. It's already done. It's already over. Throw it away if you're worried about those things. I am not worried about it. Call me whatever you want. You know, I don't care. I love my phone. I love the convenience of it. I love technology. And, you know, if cyborgs are going to rule the land, okay. What I'm doing today is worrying about how I'm going to get all these babies photographed that I did a couple weeks ago. They are still sitting there. I feel so bad. And I have, like, when I'm recording this, I still have, like, I don't know, a couple of hours of video from all that time to still edit and put up. So when I'm recording this, it's Sunday, March 7th-ish, I'm not sure. And I still have a couple weeks worth of video to edit. So I'll probably be doing that this weekend and we'll just get caught up. So the phone, oh my goodness. So if I got the watch to pair with my old phone, everything was great. And then my phone stopped working and I thought, what the heck? So I did the whole thing where I had to make the appointment with the Apple store, had to go in and do that. And they're like, you know, they're on their game. They schedule their appointments and they keep it so the store never has a lot of people in it. And then you stand, and I actually had to go in the mall. I have not been in the mall in, I don't know, like a year and a half, maybe more. I don't usually go to the mall anyway, but since COVID, haven't gone in there. It was pretty empty, so it was kind of weird, but there still was surprisingly, you know, a lot of people still shopping and the regular stores are open, but just not like mall crowded. You know, there's plenty of parking. And for the Apple store, the whole bottom part of the mall, where they used to like have furniture for people to kind of sit and talk and enjoy coffee and stuff, it's all empty. And they moved all the kiosks out of the way. And so the Apple store kind of took it over and made these like little areas for you to stand in line and 6 feet apart and stuff. And then you get in line and the guy comes out in his blue shirt and he takes all your information. And then they put you in the appropriate line for the appropriate person. And then there's a security guard standing there and they take your temperature and they ask you all these questions. Then they let you in and you go sit on these little boxes that are 6 feet away from the helper person. And it was crazy, but you know what? It was kind of cool. I'm glad they were trying to take care of people. You know, they're doing the right thing. I can't be weird about that. They're trying to do the right thing. So they look at my phone. I have like an iPhone 8. And I love that it's an 8 Plus. It's actually been my most favorite iPhone. And I kept telling myself, Lord, I hope I never have to get rid of this phone because I really like it. I'm going to be like one of those ladies who still has a flip phone, but I like it. And she said, oh yeah, it needs a new display screen. It's going to cost this much money. I said, oh, you know what? I just had a new display screen just put in like a month ago because As you guys remember from the scars on my hands, I was running at night and I took a great big fall and I broke my nose and smashed at my face and scraped at my arms and bruised myself. Oh, it was pitiful. And when I fell, it did crack my phone. So I went to one of those places locally where they say, oh, we can put your new screen in an hour, you know, for like less than $100. And I thought, that's for me. I'll go do that. Turns out that the screens they put in there are like third-party hardware, and they're not totally compatible. And so they don't always work well and right. And so she said, I can do it, you know, but here's the deal. It's not a guarantee. I don't know what they did when they got in there, and blah, 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 blah. Went through the whole thing and ended up getting not talked into, because Apple doesn't really talk you into products, you know, they just kind of let you get there all on your own, if you know what I'm saying. And I ended up buying a new phone, and on the way out, I thought, oh my gosh, how did I end up with a new phone? My first car didn't cost that much. So that's why I think the video quality is a little nicer. So that's a yay, right? I was just like feeling like an idiot, but you know, I'm kind of glad I got it, because this is kind of a cool phone too, and the camera is actually really, really nice. You all know Alita at the Dollatorium. She had a little health scare, a big health scare actually, and she was in the hospital. She's in the hospital this week. Scared the heck out of me. She's doing okay, and I'm not going to say more about it. I don't have her permission to talk about it, but you know, poor thing. That's all I can say about that. And in case you're wondering what I'm doing, I'm taking out glue that overflowed. I had epoxy on these horns. I'll show you the baby in a minute. And some of the glue kind of seeped out, and I don't want to see that at all. I'm actually going to root around these horns a little bit, because I think that'll look cool. And then I had a family member that, you know, fell on some hard times, and I don't know, I think there's some messiness around that I don't want to get into, because it's personal and private for them, but it has hit me in all those strange places. I'm feeling all the feels that go along with that. I think sometimes your heart wants to help, you know, you feel like you need to help, you want to help, you're looking for ways to help, and I don't know, I think sometimes the kind of help that person needs is really not the kind of help you think they need. Money and relatives and that kind of stuff, it doesn't mix. Anyway, so now that I've got all the messy stuff out of the way, let me show you what I've been working on. March is going to be all alternatives for me all month long. I'll see how much I can get done in a month. I am just playing, I'm having fun. I am using sculpts that I have been avoiding painting because I didn't like them, or I didn't know what to do with them, or I didn't feel incredibly inspired to paint them. Doesn't mean they're bad sculpts or ugly sculpts. Everybody just is drawn to their own thing. And some of them were just sculpts that I thought, wow, that would make a good fill in the blank, right? So I have this Zuri Awake. This is actually a super cute baby, and her eyelashes have not been trimmed yet. I still have some rooting to do around her horns. I'm going to do that right now. I'm going to do it with some very fine, natural curly mohair just around her horns a little bit. They're antler-esque, and she has some little white spots. Very, very cute. She's just like a little hybrid baby person. I have a Clyde Awake. I'm going to trim his eyelashes right now because he's ready for that action. And he is just kind of like horned space baby. Pretty cute. Actually, when I was painting him, he sort of looked like baby Captain America, and I was almost tempted, but I did not, because I had already drilled holes for his horns, so I didn't want to have to deal with covering that up. But he has blue eyelashes and a little blue mohawk and these little downturned horns. I'm not a big fan of, you know, you've heard me say before, scary babies. I've made one vampire baby for fun. I don't do zombies and scary babies or sick babies or anything like that, or hurt babies. My heart can't do that. But alternative babies are fun. You know, haunted circus, fairy babies, forest babies, and little monster babies like this guy. There he is. He's got these great horns and a blue mohawk. So this was natural colored mohair, kind of curly, and I dyed it with some blue hair dye that smelled like blueberries. It was so pretty. It is a semi-permanent dye, and I'm not too worried about it because these babies don't get their hair washed like a human being would. We're just wetting and conditioning this hair, so I think it's going to stay blue for a while. And even if it fades to a lighter blue, I think I'll still be happy with it. After a while, I think it's pretty, and his eyelashes match. And I did his, let me find his limbs for you so you can take a look right here. So I did some subtle blue shading around his ankles and his wrists. And so I think he's gonna look pretty cute. And with this rooting, I wanted it a nice thick mohawk, so I didn't do like 1 or 2 hairs per stab. He would be considered a pluggy baby, and that's fine with me. I wasn't trying to micro root. I just wanted this effect here on top. And let's see what else I have. Oh, I have a ghost baby. I did super fine baby mohair on her. I mean, it was literally from a little baby goat. His first shear. This is a first shear. So it's almost like down. And this baby has a story. The inspiration was a Japanese ghost story that I had read that I liked. And so I decided to make a baby, and it's the white butterfly. If you're not familiar with that story, you can look it up. I can give you a little bit of the story, and it's just about a man who fell deeply in love with his wife. She died early, and he was so grief-stricken, and he promised her he would never leave her. And so he ended up living right where she was buried, and he tended to her grave every single day of his life. He never remarried. He never had any children. His whole life was spent in remembrance of her and loving her, even though her body wasn't there anymore. And then one night, I guess he went to bed, and people thought they saw a beautiful white butterfly flying into his home. And the next day they found him, he had passed away of old age. The ghost story is that she turned into this white butterfly, and she came and took him when it was time for him to leave. So we thought that was so beautiful and romantic in kind of a morbid way. This is about as creepy and scary as I'm gonna go. And this is pretty creepy. My kids don't like it at all. And let me show you limbs. I did very pinkish red limbs that go to white. So that is her. And then I have baby Superman, who is going to get rooted. This is Kal-El, so I'm going to root him now. He's going to get a thick top root. He has black hair. Otherwise, he looks pretty much like a regular reborn, except for he has like a deeper blue shading and a little bit of gray. And I might shade him just a little bit more because I want him to be a little bit more dramatic, and I want that black hair on top to be pretty shocking. So I'm working on him right now, and I have to find some very pale blue eyes for him. I want him to have steely blue eyes. And his limbs are just getting their tips on them. And you know, they're shaded the same way. With his little Superman arms, I kind of did some deep creases to make him look kind of like a muscly baby. We'll see how he turns out. And I'm not going to costume him with a little cape and a Superman on his chest. That's not the vibe I'm going for. It's just Kal-El. It's baby Superman, how he might have looked when they put him in the capsule and sent him to Earth. See, oh, Aria. This is the one everybody has seen on Instagram, and I have a couple of people interested in her already. I don't know, I really like her, and I like her hair. Her hair turned out great. So this is Alphaba from Wicked. Let me see if I can get her in some light here. Isn't she pretty? If you don't know the story of Wicked, if you haven't read it or you haven't seen the Broadway play, this is the backstory of the Wicked Witch from The Wizard of Oz. And you find out in this story that there's 2 sides of every story, and she's actually kind of a cool person. And so this is her. She has big brown eyes. She's all green. Let me show you her limbs. I had so much fun getting that green. There is an alphaba green, and it's got a lot of yellow in it and a little bit of blue. And I played with this color several times. I really wanted to get it right. I think I nailed it. I think this is very alphaba green. And if you read the book, you find that her mom had an affair with like this traveling elixir salesman, and his snake oil was green. I think it's supposed to be reminiscent of maybe like absinthe. That's what I thought of when I read the book. And basically she gives birth to this green baby, and this green baby is kind of her shame, you know, her scarlet letter for being a naughty, naughty housewife. You gotta read the story. It is awesome. And if you can ever get a chance to see the play, it probably won't be anytime soon with all that's going on, but it's an awesome, awesome musical. This is that Russian mohair that I got. It is so nice. It is way thicker than I thought it was going to be. And when I started rooting it, I was like, ooh wee, that's thick. I'm not sure that's the right plan for me. But after it was done, oh, it's so soft. And it lays down so nicely, and it doesn't get fuzzy. I really like it. I'll give you one more peek at that sweet baby. That sweet pea, because she sort of looks like a pea, doesn't she? And the last baby I'm working on, remember how I say there's always one baby that kind of sneaks into my group. This is Robin. I can't remember who sculpted him. I'm a terrible person. And he's just like 3 layers in. This is for my friend Nicole. I'm gonna get some more flesh layers on, do some shading. I'm gonna probably, actually while I'm here right now, I'm probably gonna do some gold on this baby. I was gonna do gold. I think I'm gonna do this pretty yellow while I talk. And you have to excuse me, I am wired up on tea. I have been drinking warm tea all day because I feel like I just can't get warm enough. And I've been kind of sleepy. I've not been sleeping well, and so I thought I need to get myself all amped up and motivated to go out there and get some painting done and maybe make a video, get back in a groove. So I just started taxes. Oh yay. Favorite time of year, right? Ugh. It's so tedious. And I don't know how you guys, I don't go to a tax preparation person just because I don't have super complicated taxes. At least I don't think they're super complicated. And you know, I use TurboTax and it feels pretty complete to me. You know, it asks you all the questions. All you need to do is answer them. And if you can't answer them or you're confused, you know, you just hit the little help thing and it pops on down and it helps you. And no, I'm not sponsored by TurboTax. I am not monetized. We're all here just having fun. Yeah, so, you know, I've had success with that. I think if it ever got too complicated and I got too nervous and didn't feel like I was doing the right thing, I would probably go see a tax person. But so far I've been doing TurboTax. But at the same time, you know, I'm always worried, like, is this okay? Is this a red flag? I know that the book says I can do this, but what if I misread it? What if I didn't understand it? I don't want to go to like tax jail or something. So it probably takes me a little longer to do my taxes than it really should, just because I'm trying to be super careful. You know, I just always second guess myself. I just never want anybody coming back to me and saying, oh, you know, you're one of those tax bad guy people. So I'm doing that, which means sitting there with the computer, adding up columns and columns of numbers. And I'm not a numbery person. My sister is a numbers person. It's so weird. My brother and I are both creatives. We're both artists. My brother works a regular day job because he has a big family and he has to support them. but he always, always, always has art going on. He actually bought this old like passenger van a long time ago, and he kind of turned it into his art studio because he lives in a small place. He just makes art out of there whenever he wants to. It's his little man cave. I think it's kind of cool. My sister, she's in the middle, and for some reason I think she's, you know, likes art a little bit more than she likes to admit. She likes, you know, decorating and making things nice, and she appreciates shopping, and she loves pretty things, but she's not much of a maker. She enjoys numbers and puzzles and stuff like that. She, you know, is most happy with, you know, a spreadsheet. I don't get it. That would be absolute torture for me. Jobs I would never want to have. I would never want to be a preschool teacher, daycare provider. Sounds like I hate kids. I don't hate kids. I just don't want to spend my whole day like that. And I'm just not a super patient person. An accountant or bookkeeper or a librarian. I mean, I love books. I love books so much, but I wouldn't want to be responsible for shelving books and the Dewey Decimal System and remembering facts and all that kind of stuff. That's just too much for me. I'm a sorter. I love organizing and sorting, but not like that. I have numbers and me, nah, no thanks. I'm good. But yeah, but my sister is the numbers person in our family. And I have an aunt who's the same way. My sister, my aunt, oh, and I have a cousin too. They're all numbery people. I'm gonna give Kal-El a little bit of gold. He looks like he could use some brightening up. I want him to be glowy. I just want him to have a hint of the Superman he's going to be someday. I just watched part of Man of Steel. I'm always the last one to watch things. I'm finishing Outlander because my sister, that's one of her favorite shows and books. And so I got caught up in that, but I'm almost done. And then I started Man of Steel with my 8-year-old, but it was a little too violent for him. But I'll finish it myself later. I've got that to look forward to. And then I just did the last episode of WandaVision in the bathtub. It's a little guilty pleasure of mine. My Friday night fix, I go make a hot bath and I sit in there and watch an episode of WandaVision. I loved it. It was like campy as hell, but oh, I loved it a lot. I would totally be a comic book geek if I had a lot more time for that kind of thing. I just don't. You know, the Marvel movies and the superhero movies, they just way too violent. I just feel like you can do more with less of that. But you know, they want to satisfy the primitive 17-year-old brain. I don't know. I don't find violence entertaining. Not even a little bit. And I know that it's weird, but I just fast forward. If there's a movie or a show or a series that has violence, usually I just won't watch it. Or if I want to get through it, like with Outlander, there's a lot of violence in it. I just fast forward over it. I don't mind, like, you know, medical shows and stuff like that. People have like a big, you know, piece of metal sticking out of their head, or, you know, they're doing open heart surgery in a subway station. That stuff doesn't faze me at all, just because I have a little bit of experience and background there. But violence, no thank you. But I do love smart shows and things with great plots. And Handmaid's Tale, oh my gosh, like absolutely one of my favorites. Absolutely. I'm gonna gold up this baby just a bit more. And I will pop some of these babies in the oven and be right back.